rolling.
All right, this is Tippet, Riley, and Titus and Ellie's Roadmap to Success video. And the Guardian contacted us to help the dogs just kind of settle down. They had some anxiety and some other behaviors that were just leading to having lack of rules and structure in the house. So what we wanted to do is focus on getting rules and structure in the house. So remember, that's no furniture without permission. And if the dogs do get up on the furniture, just push them off until they're about to jump off on their own, and then let them do the rest of the work. You don't want to have to drag them off the couch. Just try to push their body until they're about to jump, let go. And then you can do furniture with permission. Remember to ask them to sit first and then invite them up. That's just helping them get that delayed gratification, and it also helps them with their self-control. Dogs that have self-control will look over to you for direction and leadership, and that way they're starting to try to get what they should be doing instead of just seeing something and impulsively going after it. You're also going to be doing this with the back door, so before you let them outside to go potty, remember to have them sit before going out. This is a great time to use the let the dogs compete for good behavior kind of rule. So whoever's sitting, if they will go outside on their own, let them sit and go out first. That will teach the other dogs to fall in line quicker and start to listen to you faster. Try to say the command words only once. So if you say sit more than once, you're essentially teaching them to not listen to you the first time. So say sit. If they don't listen, walk away for a minute and then come back and give them another try. Good girl. Remember our petting with a purpose. So every time you pet them, ask them to sit first, or if they're laying down, eventually you want to get them to the point where they're laying down or sitting automatically when they come over to you. Again, that's just them kind of having good manners. Good girl. And that's another area where they can start to learn that self-control. Good girl, Riley. Okay, let's see, what are some of their rules? So we went over the leadership exercise. I want you to practice that with each dog every day for the next 2 weeks, and then for the 2 weeks following that, I want you to go over that probably a couple times a week, say 3 to 4. And then I want you to keep up with maintenance. Try to do the leadership exercise at least once a month with the dogs. It'll just help keep that balance in the home. And then use the structured feeding exercise where you're using that boundary in the kitchen and letting one dog come over and eat at a time. Another good opportunity for you to use let the dogs compete for good behavior rule. Whoever is further from the boundary or testing the boundary the least, let them eat first and go in the order of the best behavior. I've kind of personally worked on this with my dogs, and whoever is the farthest from the boundary always eats first. So now they're competing for getting as far away as possible, and you might start to find that your dogs are now sitting over in the living room because they're competing for whoever gets further away gets to eat first, and they kind of learn through that social process together. We also went over the structured walk, which I want to remind you to go to the video above this one for that. Remember to use minor corrections and quick, and have an idea of how far you want the dogs ahead of you. And that should be just barely in front of your toes. That's where their nose should be. So you want to keep them right next to you. Remember, whoever is leading the way on the walk is in the leadership position. So that will also help reduce their anxiety. Remember, patience and waiting is actually going to be a huge part of training. So if the dogs are anxious and they're barking and getting all worked up when you get home, wait outside. Relax, enjoy yourself. Just wait for them to calm down. Essentially, that will teach them that calm behavior equals you coming inside. The longer it takes the quicker that they start to realize that this anxiety behavior and barking, getting all worked up, takes longer for you to get inside, and quietness equals you coming in, they will start to catch on and be quieter and quieter as the days go on. Remember to be consistent though, that if sometimes you go in when they're barking, you're teaching them that sometimes barking works, and they're going to hold on to that longer. So try to be as consistent as possible to try to get rid of that behavior. And that's the same thing if you take the dogs out for a walk. Wait for the other dogs inside and the dogs you took for a walk to calm down. That will also help you make sure that they're not barking or starting to get into any disagreements amongst each other, because it's usually disagreements between dogs come up when there's anxiety or they're really hyper. So if you're making sure that the dogs are calm inside and the dogs walk calmly in the door, you're going to have nice, calm, good behavior without having to worry about disagreements. Remember to not make a big deal out of leaving. Just kind of get up and walk out the door, nice and calm, and then that's the same thing for when you come home. Don't make a big deal out of it. Wait for them to be nice and calm, then do your normal greeting, pet them, give them lots of love and attention. All right, and then last, I want to remind you that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.